Okay, let's start session number 11 about advanced visualization solutions in the visualization editor. First of all, again, thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Subankar, to be there. It's important to have your support in the chat. So any question, please write down in the chat, and my colleagues will assist you properly. I will I'll open again the NetX automation web page with the knowledge base, because it's important for you to find where we can find information about the variables. Use it in the visualization. It's a lot of possibilities that this new functionality in the BMS platform can give us. So it's really fantastic. So there is a lot of information here, a lot of variables we have used before. Two of these. If you remember, in the last session we used this simple ch new line to change the text in a label. This is possible to use not only in the tooltip, also in any text that you use, for example, in a button or whatever. So you can resize your texts without the need to be considering every time the size of the button, for example. So you can use this, change ch new line, ch 2 points nl. Another one was the item value. So and both options that you can see here we have used. We put in the tooltip the value of the item itself, that it was in that label. And we add another extra item to indicate, for example, the temperature in Fahrenheit. It was in Celsius, and I took another item that I created very fast on the fly with the logic module, with the parsing definitions of the logic module, getting that information in Fahrenheit degrees. So directly I could edit the tooltip and use this. So we have used some of the variables, but it was on a specific case. What I am going to show you is how to do the work for the whole practical boards with the least possible effort. So we will use, in this case, page variables. So we will start with the page variables, because we are going to change page by page and to assign values to the floor and to the room. So you will understand why I am doing all this work from the very beginning of the training, organizing, classifying, ordering the items in terms of floors, in terms of rooms, because this specific project and many others of offices or whatever could be also be done like this. So page is important, page variables, and group variables also, because I have not only one light, I have 6 lights, I have 2 shutters, and I can have many elements in one page. So also it's interesting to have a second vector, second dimension to take advantage of the variable. So you will see that with only page and group variables, we will be able to control any light, any shutter of any room at any floor very easy. And this concept will be very helpful for us. So there is also other possibilities. You can also play with the layer variables. The workspace will also be explained at the end with the GRMS project, because it's also very interesting to do this. I will do it in the last session. Master variable is like a pattern of the apparent of all the rest, depending on the situation. So it's a lot of things that we can also use. Also interesting is the translation text, for example, variables to change the text of the icons, the TT, for example. The property variables is really huge. So it's really fantastic. It's a work that is helping us to do fantastic work with small effort. That's the thing. So in the knowledge base, you can take a look on this information, and if you have some specific requirement, maybe it's interesting to contact our colleagues to have a deep information or deep explanation of some of these tips, some of these tools also. So let me then retake the project that we have started before, and let me make it much powerful. Let us do this much powerful. We had one page for the first floor, one page for the first room of the first floor. But as I told you, I will use this page for any floors and the room page for any room of any of the floors. So how to do this? Oh, the first thing we need to understand is that we need to use variables. So let me go back to the floor page. So this is a floor that is called floor 01, but I want to use this page for all the floors. So it's important here to define a variable here. So it's a variable that we can define in different aspects. It could be a variable in the own object, so object variable, a page variable, a layer variable, or a workspace variable. Because what I have here is an element that is it is inside the page, it has a layer, and it is also part of a workspace. If I only select the page, I only have workspace and page variables, as you can see here in this. So it depends on the and because of the layer is not active of this element, so the layer variables are not there. But in this case, we need to define a variable for the page. So let me do this. Variable for this page is, and this page is representing us the floor. So I can put a name like, for example, floor number or whatever. Even we can do as for the web manager, just an F. Why not? But it's okay if we put a name a bit more representative, floor number. And the question is, okay, this is a variable. So if I want to represent the number of the floor, I shouldn't put here 01. I should put here that variable. So I can copy the bar link with this button, and I will substitute this with this. The definition of the variable is like as we use in the web manager between keys, but we have to identify which kind of variable. This is a PG, a page variable, so PG 2 points and the name of that. It's not important to remember this because as I mentioned, I just select the variable and I copy the var link. So you can do it manually, but you can just take this automatically. So I will change this, okay? And it happens the same with this label that is behind this. So this is a room that is part of one specific floor, for example, okay? So I should use that to substitute these numbers. I will put this again here. So, okay, how to then handle this situation? I have defined a variable in this page. So let's go back to my home page and let's see what I can do here. So what happens here? I have one element that is a go to page element. This page is the floor page. I am opening this element in a second view, but look, now what happens is that I can, because I am also, the target is this page, and this page has now a variable, I can use this variable and I can give a value of this variable. So I can put here, okay, 01. This is the page that the number of the floor I am going to give a value because this is the first floor. And then I can test if it's working or not. So let's test. Just pressing here. Okay. Look, the tooltip is not indicating me good information, but we will correct this, making this a bit more sophisticated. But it's now to test, I just press here. And what is happening is that I am taking the value floor 01. So it looks like I didn't change anything, but I did, because you will see next. So, okay. How to improve a bit, only a bit this. I will do something special. I will open this element. This element is an object. I can also create a specific variable for an object, whatever name, let's say reference, whatever, it doesn't mind. And I can just put here that value 0, 1. So instead of, and look, instead of using this number directly here, I will use the object variable. The name ref is whatever, it doesn't mind, it's whatever. And why I'm doing this? For two reasons. First is that in the tooltip, I can use this, for example, text, go to floor, and then I can put this value. So now I have a tooltip. Okay, I could just put a 0, 1 instead of the variable, but I can reuse this element. Look, the tooltip now, go to floor 0, 1. It's working, it's working. So it's just adding another variable to the system, just the object variable. For this object, the object is this polygon. So, and what I'm going to do is just copy and paste the polygon and try. I have both, yes, I have both. Just moving these dots here, for example. So when I'm copy pasting this element, this is a different object, but this is a copy of the other object that has a variable itself. So I can just put here, the value now is 0, 2 for this. So this is also able to be copied. It's available also for copy. So I have my third one. I can correct the position of the dots for my polygon very carefully, not to overlap controls. That's perfect. And this is number 3. So this will be a reference for the 3rd floor. And last, I can copy and paste this, for example, and reuse it for the last floor. So just checking that I have the other 3 ones, and then I can do a professional work with this element in the last floor, for example. So now the last thing is to change this value to 4. So I did the work only once because I had the tooltips. Something is not good here. That's it. It's only an extra dot. No problem. It's working nevertheless. So I did only once, for example, the tooltip, and I did only once, for example, the element, because the properties are the same. Go to floor 1, go to floor 2, go to floor 3, go to floor 4. Let's check if it's working. If I press this, I say, yes, we are in floor 4. This is the room 0401. If I change the floor to the 3rd or to the 2nd or to the 1st, it's magic. No, it's science. This is changing the value of the floor. Fantastic. So that's it. That's it. That's what I wanted to do. So now I have a variable for the floor number that is, and this is the most important thing, it's giving values to this variable. And remember that the items also includes this floor number. So it's useful also not only to indicate things, but it will be also useful for the items itself. Let's demonstrate it with the 3rd definition. Okay, I am in the floor. Let me go to the floor and let me improve this a bit, because this text can also be improved. I can put a text like go to room, take this value, and of course we can create a variable for this object again. For example, let's say num, of number, and this specifically is for the rooms that finish with 0, 1 for the whole hotel. So I can just put here this and then that. And here I just change the text 01 for this because I am using in the tooltip and I am reusing it here. And why I'm doing this? Let's check if it's working fine. I have to go back to home because if I am not assigning the floor number, but now it's working fine. It's working fine. It's working fine. It's working fine. Okay. The 01 is there, and the 01 now is not a fixed value, it's a variable again. So it's a bit tricky, but it's when you do it 2 times, it's fantastic. It's really easy. So let's do copy paste of this in order to just have the same. For example, for these 4 rooms, I could give number to the 20 rooms that we have here, but it makes no sense. If you want to do it at your home, it's perfect, but I'm not going to spend time for this. So I align it, for example, and then I have this. I only have to change this to 02. I only have to change this to 03. And I only have to change this to 04, for example. So variable concept is that way. Let me check again. I go to home and I demonstrate you that it's working fine. If I select a floor, for example, the first one, you have that definitions of the rooms for the first, for the second, for the third, and for the fourth. Okay, so that's it. But this is not enough because we need to trigger something to go to the other page. So this variable, this numbers, last number of that is not enough. It's not enough for a while, for a reason. Let's go to the room. Let's go to the room number. In the room page, we need to define 2 different variables, one for the floor and one for the room number. So in the page, I will define, and here I will use the F and the R. Why not? It's a different variable because it's a different page. So we can rename it with the name that you would like, no problem. F and R. I will not assign any value for this because it will be changing for every room, but I'm going back. I will just change this text and reduce that var links. Page variable, I can also write it down manually. PG page variable 2 points room. So it's like we did for the web manager for the templates, but in this case it's different thing. It's another kind of variables for the visualization, and there are many kinds of variables, so you have to specify which of that is. Okay, so that's this. And then if I go back, now it's time to go to floor, and then have here the definition. So look, this is a link area that is linked to a page room, the only page I will need. A view, a third view for this. And now as this page room has variables, I can define with the variables. So look, it's very interesting. I can do engagement between this variable that is for the floor, that is taking the value from the first page, and we are transferring this value to the third page. So the value is only selected when you select the floor, and it's given to the floor page and to the room page because I can assign a variable value to this. And the last one could be, for example, 01. Again, a fixed value, but we can do it better. We can go to this object, create a variable for this object, for example, room number or whatever, or ref, again, reference. And this is the one that you put the value here because I am going to copy paste this. So it makes more sense to make this more powerful, more reliable using variables itself, because you save a lot of time doing this. For example, telling this element that this is for go to room. It is not necessary, because you know that the number of the room is behind in the text label. But if there is any mistake, you can understand why, because the tooltip is indicating exactly what is happening. So go to room, and you have here the floor, park, and the room number. The most interesting thing in this case, in my opinion, is that, for example, you could include here the name of the guest, for example. So you can put here, okay, this is go to room, whatever, and imagine that I am thinking in a new line, change new line, I can include an item value that is, and I will check my GRMS system, module, GRMS, hotel, and look, there is a room with a number. Check it in, for example, guest name, for example. Bernard, you are in the room 0101. So I will take this and use it in the visualization. Fantastic, because I can use this for that. And this is also possible. I think we can change also this reference using the var link. Maybe not. Maybe not. Floor number. Maybe I am asking for so many things. I will try to force it. And if it's not working, I will just keep it. Page room number. It's the first time I do this. Maybe it's because I have to close the key. Okay, let's check. Let's check. Why not? Only the brave gets results. So what is happening here? I need to go to home again, select the floor, select the room. This is working, but the tooltip is not. It's a pity, but it's. Okay, it's not taking that. Well, the name of the guest behind is not here. We can maybe put it in a label behind, so it's not in the tooltip. Okay, maybe we are forcing the situation a bit more than should be interesting. So let me try to do it better way with a label here behind. So a label that should contain the name of the guest, and here I can use the item value. I will take that from here. Okay, sorry, it was here. This. Let's check it here. Let's see. Let's select the room. Maybe. Something is not well there. Okay, last try. No more. I don't want to force it, but it will be nice if you can also include this. But it's not taking that. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I understand why. Okay, copy. This is not there, so impossible that the variables are a different page, so it's not possible that it works. Floor number and the object value. That's it. So now I guess yes, we can see if it's working. That's it. Now it's working perfectly. We know the name of the guest there. Okay. Fantastic. It was my mistake because I was using a variable from the room, not from the floor page. So it's just not existent this. That's it. That's working fine. So let me copy paste this. And this copy is for number 2. And this copy is for number 3. And this last is for number 4. So, and let's check it before we can continue, because I want to check that it's perfectly working. I think I fill it with the names of all of us. Yes, it's Bernas, it's Stephanie Subarcaras, it's myself. Okay. The auto size maybe could be fix it and put a fixed size also. It's also possible, but it's okay. I will continue. So the last thing to do here is just this element, the link area. So I have to move it ordering to top, because if not, it's clickable. This is clickable after or before the other. So it's move on top is important. And this has go to room PG op OB. Fantastic. This is working fine. And then the definition is correct also. So the only thing to do here is copy pasting this. Control C, Control B. So check that we have both. And this is for number 2. Again. And this is for number 3. And I will copy the last one to get for number 4. So, and that's it. This is the only thing remaining to get our hotel almost configured. So I select the room and I can change the room. Why not? So fantastic, it's working. I will now change the floor. So you can see that it's also working, changing the floor to a floor number 2. So this is the concept of variables. We are taking advantage of these variables, but also it's because, and you will see now, because this is working, because also we create our item strategy based on that numbers, room and floor numbers. So my items, all my items in the GRMS, in the alias, are based on this strategy. So I thought a lot, I design, I spend, invest a lot of time in thinking how to organize all my items, because now I can take advantages of this work. And this is fantastic to show you the final result of all these days explaining the same things. And this is the time for that, because I will do it. I will explain you something now. I will remove this element. I will not need this, okay? I will remain only the bed light. But what happens? This bed light is was created before, well, as a pop-up. So let me, well, yes, it's not problem because we have the triggering of that pop-up here. So we have that here. But the items here, what happens? They are related to only to the room 0101, but it's not a problem because what I can do is just copy the var link and substitute this with this, and the room, copy var link and substitute this with this. And I will copy this and I will copy this. So this is now flexible, and this element is working well for any kind of lights. So let me change the slider, for example, because these variables will got the values from the previous decisions, from the previous floor selection and room selection. You will be giving values to the variables before. So it's important. The only thing that is important is that you start with the first page to select the floor, but the rest is the same. And this is okay. The only thing I have to change is this to this. So this is working perfectly all these cases. I apply, say okay, I will test it, so you will see that I am not crazy. It will be working very soon. Okay, let's check. I will go to home. I will turn on the camera. Let's check which camera you are now. Yes, that camera. Okay, let's see if this is working or not. First floor, first room. It's not a secret that if I press here, I have the bed light of this room. This was working before, yes? So it's not a mystery. It was working before. But what happened if I select the room number 4? Okay, it looks like I am in a different room. I will try to control that light. And this is a different light. This is the light for the first floor, room number 4. Okay, I will keep it open. Let me change the floor now. I will go to the room 0202. I will select the bed. And I can turn on and off the light. Okay, I will go back to the first floor and turn off the light. Okay, and I will go to the first, and I will turn on again and off the light. So it's working perfect. If I go to the Stefan's room, I can turn on his light. So that's the aim of the variables, to have only one page for the whole number of floors and one page only for the whole number of rooms. Only this way it's possible with variables. If not, you should have to create, in this case, 8 pages for the rooms, work 8 times. Okay, you can copy paste, you can export and import items. There is some tools that you can do also this kind of work, but this makes nonsense if you have done a good work before. And the secret, again, I repeat, is because I use that strategy for the items itself. Give a number or definition or organize. It doesn't mind if it's number or text. Is not important, but exactly the same texts you have to use for the items as for the visualization. So that's it. Now, a next dimension of this is to be able not only to control one light, but all the lights. Okay. So we had 2 different lights here, for example. I have the ceiling control and the bed control, but I have deleted that group. It's not a problem. Why? Because we can create, this is a group, okay? This is a group, has some properties, is theme, for example. But we can create a variable for the group. It's possible to create for the group a variable. For example, circuit. The specific circuit, it can be changed, bed, or we can call it name. For example, name of the light, name of the shutter, it doesn't mind. Circuit name, it is not important. Name, okay, name. Okay, let's go, name. The question is that I can change or I have a variable now, and I can change, depending on that variable, the name of the light. Instead of put bed, as you can see here, bed is also variable, because in my data point strategy, I will show you again, I have my alias with floors and rooms, but also, for example, my lights are on off hall, on off bath, on off left, on off right, on off ceiling. So what is the change? The change is the name of the light, the hall, the bath, the left, the right, the ceiling, and the bed. That's it. That's it. So I can use exactly that strategy and use the group variable for this, to use only one widget for whole number of lights in my room. Even if I have 100 lights, it's not a problem, because I use the same reference, and I am going only to change that name with the triggering of the group, with the link area. So I put this, I copy, well, I have copied before. So this is the var link, okay? And now we only have to do this for the whole elements. So just go here on off, not bed, but this, not only bed, but this. So we are adding a new dimension for our, we have a dimension for the floor number, another second dimension for the room number, and this is a third dimension for the element, in this case, for this group, only for the lights. If I have shutters, that is the second example, we need also another for the shutters, but it's just 1 second. So imagine a hotel with 100 floors, big hotel, 100 rooms per floor, 10,000 rooms, and 100 lights per room are 1 million circuits. This is a big example, but in a few time, you can control any of these lights of any of these rooms at any of the floors of the hotel with a few and small effort. That's it. That is the secret of the variables. So let me finish this example with this change here. And last is this. Okay. So now we can enrich that with that information, control of whatever light, for example. That's it. So in this element, again, it happens that the target is a group that is called dim, but this group has a variable and we can change that variable. This is an object that can also have a variable here that could be the name, again, the name of that. And we can put here that name, so we save a lot of time if we use this. And in fact, for the tooltip, it should be not this, it should be this. For example, so let's check. Again, we need to start from home, selecting, for example, the first and the first, and the tooltip should control of bed light, and the bed light is working. Okay, but we need to control all the lights, so let's do it. I will do something with this because I would like to have the status of the light, at least the status. So let me do this because it's interesting to do the things only once. So if you think well, you can, for example, put here status, and you put here the 18 value of the light, for example, the 18 value of the off, for example. So just item value and put here that item value, but we can get well, it's on off bed, but it doesn't mind because I will change this. Sorry, the status again, almost failure. And here, yes, I'm trying to, please give me the opportunity to. Okay, I know. And this item, let me put this bigger because it's important for me. Status, and this is a bar link that has to change here. This is a bar link that has to change here. And this is the name that has to change here also. And this is for the status. If you want to also ch new line close to put the percentage, we can also value 2 points, and we can also use the same with the percentage. So I think we can even take this because the name is very similar. Let me check, but I think it's status percentage. But I have to check. Status percentage, that, yes, that's it. Okay. It's because I haven't closed the, key. In percentage, I think. Let's check. Let's check if it's working. Home. Floor. Yes. This is the tooltip for this light. Now it's off. But if we do this, the tooltip is giving you information. This is true, and the value is 75%. That's fantastic, because if you press here, you can also know the status of the light without having to press here to see the slider, for example. So it's interesting. This kind of information is always possible to get in the tooltips. It takes some time because you know that the tooltip is a bit complex. No, don't worry, because we will give you this project. So I will give you this information, so you will be able to see this. Okay, so you can check what I am doing in my project. But I think it's interesting to have this. So, okay, I will delete this because I'm interested to get all this. They are referred to variables, so it's fantastic. So Control C, Control V, for example. This is the ceiling light. You press here and you will get the control of ceiling. Double click, and I have to do nothing. The only thing I have to do, because I I have to change the name, is to go to the object. Instead of the bed, this is the ceiling. So now I will copy paste, because I have several other kind of lights in my project. So for example, this is the hall light, ceiling hall. So hall, okay, I don't have to go this. I have just to write hall light, hall, copy, paste. This is the bath. Nothing to change there, only here, because it's referred to a property, and that's it. This is the bed. Okay, the bed maybe should be, instead of this, it should be here. This is the bed light, but okay, it doesn't mind that the light is here, is not the bed itself, it's the light of the bed. This is the light, but it's okay. This is the bath. Try copy paste, and this is the left from the bed point of view, left, and right. And that's it. I just have to go to home, start, select a room, for example, mine, and select the light. This is the bed. This is the, my small mistake. It's working. This is the other light, but the name I didn't change. I didn't put in the label the name, but the light is correct. It's changing. If I do this, it's changing the light. Is the other, but in the widget I didn't change the name, so that's the only mistake I made. But it's working fine. So let me correct this. Sorry, it's just a small mistake, but it's important to correct, because this is not fixed. It's not bed. It's my group variable name. So I just have to put this there, and then it will change. So now the test will be totally successful, I hope. So I select the room, and now bed light, ceiling light, hall light, bath light, left light, right light. With status, if I turn on, status is true. If I turn off, status is false. These lights has no dimming possibility. So maybe this widget is not the right one. It's only needed this button, but it's okay. I'm just using the more complex. True, false, the bath light. Now, even we can put icons here, changing the color or whatever, it's possible. So whole light, if I turn on, it's on. If I turn off, it's off. That's working. So it's working. That's it for the lights. Okay, let's continue with the shutters, and then we can use the web manager elements. I can show you the web manager elements also. Room, and I have a widget already created, so I will do the same if you don't mind. So because we save time, I will reuse this. It's very simple. It's the same idea. I have a background, I have a label, shutter. P is for persiana in Spanish. This is the variable, but I will change the variable, no problem. It's for shutter. Shutter, path, shutter, terrace. There's two shutters we have, so it's just as like this. Okay. So let me just show you that we can change the name of the group, okay? And we can also hide and show whatever of these elements in the edition, because if you want to situate the control in the same place, it's a bit annoying to have both, or to have to move both. But in this window, you can also say, okay, not interesting to touch dimming, or now not interesting to edit anything with the shutter, so we can hide and show. So that's it. And now the elements, okay, this is the shutter. I have two shutters, so I have to change this. I will just release this item. I will select my items. I have shutters, so I have, for example, move curtain bath. This is one. Curtain of the bath, and curtain of the other one is curtain terrace. Now two curtains, okay. The name, I mean, the only things that is changing is this name. So we will do exactly the same. We have two page variables and one group variable that is called S from shutter. So the only thing I have to do is to substitute. Again, this is for moving, so I have to select move. I have to substitute this with this variable for the floor. The room number is not fixed, it's variable, so I change it also for the room number. And the name of the reference of the circuit that I am controlling is a group variable. So I will copy this because I want to edit the next button to go down. I don't have to close the window. I am doing, but it's not necessary to close the window. And this is exactly the same. And the value to go down is 1. Apply, and the value to go up is 0. It was wrong. It was not going to work. If I send 1 to go up and to go down, it will always go down. So it was not okay. Okay, and the middle button is to stop. So I just have to maybe instead of move, it's stop. I have to check, but I'm sure that it will be okay. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay, so shutter, whatever, and this label is to indicate, I think, the position in percentage. Yes, the status. So the status of the shutter should be, I will change the move to shutters current height percentage. Curtain. Okay. Current height percentage curtain. This is the text. I can, of course, it's not a problem if I just copy this and I select it, no problem. So we just change this to the variable one. Okay. And then instead of the race, I have to substitute with the variable because I have not only one, I have several, in this case, only two, but several curtains to control and the format to give you 1%. So that's it. This is a group for the shutters. What I can do also is indicate, and there is an interesting, there is one element, graphical element, very interesting to show you, that is indicating in graphical view with the different icons, 1 bar, 2 bars, up to 10 bars, the height of the shutter. So I can also put this here as a fixed. It's not a pop-up. It will be fixed because it's here, and imagine that the other is here when the TV, for example. It's just an example. So I take this. Yes, the current height. I just have to change this. I think no. Room with the number of the floor and the number of the room. Page variables, and this is the curtain terrace. No, bath. I have bath and terrace. Okay, bath. This is the bath one, a fixed one because it is representing that. Pictures and conditions. There are different pictures up to 100, so that's not necessary to do anything. And I would just showing you the status of the shutter. I will put the other one, for example, here, so you can take a look on the same idea. For this second shutter, this is the curtain terrace. So just for you to understand, and to select the curtains, we need something to trigger the curtain. So I don't have an element, but I will use a button. So a button like this, but it's a bit awful. I will do it very easy. It's just a change group visibility. The group is shutter. And this is for the bath one, for example. And the appearance will be 0 opacity. Okay. Transparent area clickable, and put here a name. Curtain bath with a specific size that I have to choose properly. Yes, this is, for example, 20 or even a bit more, 24. And this is a pop-up for the curtain bath here. And if I copy paste, I get the race and the name to race. So I told you, if you want to have it in a different line, it's just to use the CHNL, so you will control the size of your button. It's also another special thing that you can do. So you have curtain as a reference, for example, curtain, more or less. Let's check. Let's check if it's working fine. Okay, so for controlling the shutters, I go to home and test this, and we are almost finished. The only left thing is the web manager things. So let's go to the first floor. Curtain bath, shutter bath, shutter trace. I have to change the name to curtain, but it seems that it's working fine. If I send it down, up, because they were down, I will wait about 12 seconds, I think. Both are up now. I will move it down. Up is working and down not working. Let me check. And also the texts are not okay, so it's just a last some more space for the text. But the text are working, the new line is working fine. And this is curtain, not shutter, curtain. Apply, okay, and now I have to check this. 0. My mistake, yes. Sending was not marked, so it's impossible that it sends the value if you have not checked this. Okay, that's it. So it was the only thing to consider. That should be now working fine. Okay, last try. Curtain bath, going down, curtain terrace, going down. And let's wait to get the result in the status. Here it is. You have the status of the shutters there. So you can also go send up, for example, a bit. You get 63, 66, and the bath, for example, a bit more. And you get 54. And the icons are representing more or less what is happening with the shutters and the others. Last thing for the room will be, yes, do not disturb makeup room. Do not disturb and makeup room buttons, for example, like here. So do not disturb, on, off, on red, off gray. Okay. Do not disturb will be red color and gray if it's not active. The size, maybe it's big, so 8080 could be good. That's okay. I will put it here. I will put just a small label indicating that DND. And here's the button. And makeup room. For example, makeup room will be green. Green. And now, what are the items for the do not disturb a makeup room in our project? The items, let me put here, order top, order to top. The icons, or the items, sorry, were from BACnet. I decided to use BACnet, but as far as I remember, I had this do not disturb button, do not disturb status in the alias. So I was right thinking this way because now the only thing I have to change is the floor and the room number for this. So this is the floor, this is the room, and this is the thing that I have to copy down also. For this, okay, do not disturb button and status coming from BACnet, but integrated perfectly. And now the makeup room button and the makeup room status. I'm changing only this, changing only this. Okay. And the only thing important now is to combine both in a group, but not for a pop-up, but for a toggle switch. This means both situations are not possible. If you are selecting do not disturb, the makeup room is deactivated. If you are selecting makeup room, the do not disturb has to be deactivated. It's not a problem. We can do it with this function. So you don't have to create any logics or any actions if one is or the other is not in the right way. And that's it. It's from BACnet, and we have grouped it with the toggle option, you know. We can, for example, put or select this object properties, for example. DND status with only this. Okay, I have to ungroup. Well, it doesn't mind. I change. I just put a comment without the value, because the value is in the icon, so it takes less time lost with this. So let's check if my backnet is also integrated with my KNX perfectly in my rooms, just testing this way. Do not disturb. Okay, do not disturb. Should be, you cannot see this, but it's in an icon here. I promise that it's on, and if I select the other, it's changing. It's going to the parallel, the one that is on his side. So if you press one, the other is deactivated because of this function of toggle switch. That's fantastic, and it's for any of the rooms. If I change the room, it's changing. Let me check. Yes, and it's working fine. This is working fine. Any room is working. Makeup room, do not disturb. Makeup room, do not disturb. Okay, so that's good. And now, last thing to show is what happens with the web manager. Okay, we have alarms, we had calendars or whatever, so we can also integrate this in, and we can do in the different levels. For example, the alarms. Let me show you library. Let me find a black alarm rect. For example, here it's a button that will be a big for example, like this. And the function for this button will be not standard button. It will be a web manager window. So you have a different thing to select. Event list, your alarm list, for example, why not? And my alarms are this folder, all the alarms, okay. And you have 4 extra windows to select. Alarm list, the caption, that's it. If you want, for any of these buttons, you can also have a lock, code lock. If you don't have the lock, the code, you cannot access to this. That's interesting. So you put here a password for that, or just a confirmation. It will be a message. Are you sure? For example, or please confirm. That it's good, for example, for the central off or the central on of or whatever. Please confirm. So it's a security element. So you can see here that if I press my alarm, please confirm, yes, and I get a new window. Take some time. And you get here the list of alarms. Okay, in web page, it will be a new tab. In this case, it's a window that you can handle also. Okay, that's it, alarm list. Other things we have, we can also define any kind of trending here. But the question is that the calendars, for example, are specific for the lights of every room. So we can do this per floor also. So imagine that you want to know the alarms only for the specific floor, only the alarms of this first floor. So web manager window, let me put here again this 200 and 100. 120 better. Okay, and web manager window, okay. But what happened with web manager? I want my alarm list, and my element is the alarm they are not organized by floor. They are organized by room, but it's okay. We need now, in this case, if I have a folder with the floor number, it will be here. But if not, I just have to put one button per room. It's not a problem, but I just have to put here this room number, floor number, and maybe create a new variable for this, for the room number, and give the value here. So you will get the alarm per room if you put this here. The alarms per floor is in this case not possible because we don't have them organized by floor, but it's just a question of changing this, and you press the button and you get the alarms per room here behind, for example. But it's possible that you can see the alarms per room here, or it could be also, of course, in the room possible to get these alarms here, and the definition of that should be page floor, and in this case we have this coming from the previous page to select the page room. So you can use variables also in these elements. We will check. Now I will put a calendar, for example, for the calendars of the lights. Let's take the same size for both buttons. Let's align it to the top. So this again can be a web manager window, and then it could be a calendar, and then we can select which event for the lights and for the room, and we only have to change this with the variables. It's not only for this room, it will be for this and that room. And in a second window, for example. So it could be a calendar. If I want to show the trending with the temperature, put the same chart, for example, and the size can be changed. The alignment also can be referenced, and I can select all and space the same horizontally with the same distance. So it's very easy to do this kind of organization. Object is web manager window. In this case, it's a trending, and the trending is temperatures. So I have my room temperature here in a third window, but refer to variables. The caption should be different. This is also different, window 2, and this is window 1, alarm list room. Okay, let's check it and see how it works finally, in order to export it to the web and show you in the web manager to finish this. So it's very easy. We can go here, for example, and I can show you the alarms, and it's alarms for the room specifically. It takes some time, but it will show you that. Take some time. Okay, let me show you the calendars. Now they are here, but it's not filtering. Okay, let me check. This is working. There is the calendar for the room. The alarm list is, I have maybe to redefine it or check. And this is the trending for the temperature. So I can also show it to you better window. And this is the temperature for the day. For the room 0101, let me change the room and change the graphic. So the trending will change. Okay, now is a different room temperature. If I select the calendars, it will also change to the room 0104. And the only thing to check is the alarm list, because maybe I haven't changed that for the room. The calendar will appear in a few seconds. And now the last thing to show you is how to have this in a web page. Okay, should appear. That's it. So if I show you the agenda, you will see that it's for the room 0104. So it's working fine. The only thing to check is this before we export it to the this is the wrong thing is that I have to change also this. That's okay. Now it should work. It works. It should work fine. Okay, I guess that it's working fine. So let's finish this example, saving my project. And what do I have to do in order to see in a web page is save and transfer to the server. Because I have now to go to the web manager. Now it's transferred. I can close my editor, go to the web manager and show you how we handle this in the web. We have here visualization management app. Haven't seen yet. Only what I did is it was only for showing you the GRMS assignation, but it's okay. And this is my project because the date is today, Visu demo. It has been received, but I have to deploy it, compile it to the web. So I am just pressing this button. This is important. Deploy it's a commandatory thing. I have to deploy it. You can refresh. So you can see the last time it was deployed. Okay, Visu demo. That's good. But we need also a second thing to do is to define a new, for example, a new device, web one, for example, or simply web browser or whatever, doesn't mind. And I have to assign this to a project. If not, it will get a message, Visu demo. This is my project, so I now assign my web to my Visu demo project. You should also assign it to the users. So if you have different users, you can, for example, user admin is a super administrator, so all the projects are there, but user has to, for example, you can assign to web. So user and admin can access to this project, but no others, no customers, no others. So this is the things we do in the visualization management. We can also, of course, from this web limit the number of connections. Okay, only one person at the same time, or no, only two persons at the same time. whatever. You can limit the number of connections. This limit is also limited by your license. So that's it. Then I will not give any limit. Also, we can open the visualization. So we can force from this point, you can force to open the visualization so you get this. But it's very simple because you only have to put your IP, the IP of your computer. It could be remote, of course, to put the IP of the server, the port you are using, in this case for HTTPS. You remember the ports? The ports are configured here in the BMS platform service control. So this is the port I have already configured. So that's it. If you don't remember the port, just push the button and that's it. Just login and password. If I say, okay, I am user and my password is this, I have access to the visualization. Okay, I have access. I can use the visualization and look, it's in different tabs. This is one tab, this is second tab. I don't know what this is, why this is here, but, and this is the room, and this is the control of your lights, so you can control whatever. Okay, so the curtains, for example, or whatever, so you can control this. But I will again log out. We'll close visualization and log out. So I will log in, but with a different, there is a visualization app directly, so you can select, for example, if I say I am the admin, I have this password, and the previous case, I was not asked about the project because I was assigned to only one project. But in this case, if I log in, I am asked, you have access to all these projects. Which one you want to open? Okay, I want to open web. This is the device I want to open. So this is my project here inside. I can go to any of these, can go this room, and I can control whatever lights in my room number 4. So my room is number 4. Or the other light, for example, in my room. Or I can see the temperature of my room in a specific page for this. So this is temperature. Or if you remember the calendar in a different tab, also my calendar, or even my alarm list. It should be only for the room 0104. So you can have up to 7 windows, 4 for the web manager. So this is the alarm for the 0104. So that's it. And from this, you can include labels, put aggregation, change to table in web format, export it to Excel automatically, save it as a customer to a PNG file, for example. All these things are possible from the web. Of course, you can create your own layout of tabs. So it's possible to have different layouts of tabs using different screens, of course, because I can also move it to another screen, and that's it. So it's very, very interesting. So at the end, we have seen how to use these variables, and this is very, very important to work a few and give a huge project a solution in a few times. So that's fantastic. So this is the end of this session. Thank you very much. Again, sorry for the time spent. Next session will be shorter, so we will also compensate with that. Thank you very much, and see you in half an hour and a half again. Bye.